All right, so we will start seated in our chair. So get comfy cozy in your seat. And then if you can, just have your yoga strap or your TheraBand just nearby somewhere accessible so that once we come forward and sit up a little taller, you'll be able to access it and use it. So for now, sit back, get comfy, let your feet find a nice place to land, let your shoulders snuggle down. Give your body a moment just to settle in. Keeping your eyes closed if you can. If you need to open them at any point, feel free. It's always an option. But if you can keep your eyes closed down, just tune in and listen to all the sounds around you. No need to pick anything in particular out, but just notice the sounds around you and let them come in to meet your ears. And then see if you can, within all the sounds around you, can you find the sound of your breath? And that might be really, really soft and subtle. You might not be making much in the way of noise in your breath. So just see if you can find or hear the sound of your breath. And then notice how just sometimes focusing on the breath without forcing the breath does kind of change the breath, because you might have instinctively just slowed the breath down a little bit so that you could tune in and pay attention. Allow that slowness or that intentional breath to take place all on its own. And then maybe just notice the physical action of breath. So you might notice whether or not one nostril is a little bit freer than the other, that one side might be a little bit more congested, or are both sides open and free. There's no right or wrong, but just notice. And then as you breathe in and out, hopefully through your nose both ways, see if you can tune in and feel either in the upper cavity of your sinuses or towards the back of your throat where your sinuses and your throat meet. Can you feel a sense of breath in that space? And then as you're tuning into that space where the sinuses and the throat meet, see if you can create a sort of constriction or a little bit of a lift. And we're going to see if we can find our ujjayi breath, or that ocean sounding breath. So it opens up and it creates a little bit of a constriction in the back of the throat. And then hopefully you find a little bit of a vocal breath. Doesn't need to be super loud. Your neighbors don't need to hear it. But as you breathe in through the nose, you might feel an ocean sound, or for lack of a better way of saying it, a Darth Vader breath sound. And then that same sound as you breathe out. Inhale through the nose, a constriction in the back of the throat, making a slight ocean sound. Exhale through the nose, same constriction in the throat, make that ocean sound as you exhale. And then see just for a few moments if you can keep that Ujjayi breath going. If you lose it, don't worry about it. But if you can keep that Ujjayi breath going, now see if you can focus on the feeling of breath, maybe further down your throat, like where your throat starts to meet your chest. And then see if you can bring your awareness even further down. So now you're just going to tune in and see if you can feel the movement of breath in your chest. Staying with this soft position, still keeping our sense of awareness in the breath in the chest. Now see if you can stack your hands on top of your heart. We're still soft into the back of the chair, legs are soft, belly is soft, hands just gently resting onto the heart space, and then take 3 nice intentional breaths here. And then allow your breath to come in freely and gently. And then just for a moment, switch your thought space over to just coming into this idea of the love you've been giving out lately and the love that you've been receiving lately. So if you've noticed a kindness that happened to you or a kindness that you did, or if there is just some greater sense of love that you've just been putting out into the world, just get a sense of that sensation or that feeling, and then just breathe that into your heart. And then notice when I said, breathe that love into your heart, did you take a deeper breath or did you catch your breath? There's no right or wrong, but just notice. And before we move away from this place of stillness, take a moment here to set an intention to honor your mind and your body throughout your practice, never doing anything in your practice that would cause your body pain, and treating yourself with love, care, and respect. Wonderful. With that intention set, start to lift your back away from your seat so you're sitting up nice and tall. And we're going to release our hands down. So palms are going to be facing up. Float the backs of the hands down so that they're resting against your thighs. And then we're just going to roll the fingers in, make a light little squeeze of the fist, and then roll the fingers out and stretch them nice and wide. Roll the fingers in, squeeze the fingers, make a fist. Roll the fingers out and stretch the fingers nice and wide. Do that one more time. Roll the fingers in, squeeze. Roll the fingers out and stretch. And then we're going to soften that sensation of the hands, but then we're going to do a light touch. So think tips of the fingers. So index finger, thumbs, and thumb tip to touch, and then release. Middle finger and thumb to touch, and release. Ring finger and thumb to touch, and release. Pinky finger and thumb to touch, and release. Come back to that pinky. Pinky and thumb touch and release. Ring finger and thumb touch and release. Middle finger and thumb touch and release. Index finger and thumb touch and release. And now we're going to go through those fingers one more time, but now we're going to add a little bit of extra pressure. So index finger and thumb touch and press into each other with a little bit of effort. Notice that muscle strength in your hands. And then when you're ready, release. Middle finger, thumb, and touch. Push in a little bit. Feel that effort. And release. Ring finger and thumb touch with a little bit of effort. And release. Pinky finger and thumb touch with a little bit of effort, and release. Come back to the pinky. Pinky finger and thumb touch, put a little effort in, and release. Ring finger and thumb touch, press in with a little bit of effort, and release. Middle finger and thumb press, and release. Index finger and thumb, and release. Beautiful. And then just twinkle your fingers a little bit, loosen them up. Flip your palms so now they're facing down towards your thighs, just a nice light handhold, and then move up into the head and the neck. As you inhale, gently lift your chin up towards the sky. And as you exhale, tuck your chin down towards your chest. Inhale and lift your chin up. Exhale, tuck your chin down. Inhale, lift your chin up and hold. One more cycle of breath. And then when you feel ready, tuck your chin down towards your chest, hold here. Awesome. And then we're going to keep it with a sort of soft sense of lightness. We're just going to gently roll the head side to side. So like you're making just the bottom half of a circle, but keep this part super light. So if you're feeling like there's any stiffness in your neck or any little catches, if your neck bones get a little bit cranky in the morning, super light, super small, small and light as it can be. Great. And then the next time your right ear comes over towards your right shoulder, let it hang out there, get a little bit heavy. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Release your chin back towards your chest and then roll it across to the other side. Hang out here for a second. Just let the ear get nice and heavy. Nice. And then roll your chin back down to your chest and then make little figure eights, just like you're trying to kind of soothe out the back of the neck. And we will come back to the head and the neck in a little bit, but after we've warmed all the rest of the parts up. So find your head in a nice neutral position. Left hand's going to touch down to the chair. Right hand's going to reach up alongside your ear. First, find that height of the arm, just as high as your arm likes to go, and then anchor into your sits bones. Reach the fingertips upward towards the ceiling. So rather than a side bend to start, just find that nice big reach. You might feel a little bit tilted, and that's okay, but still keep that more of an upward reach than anything. And then when you're ready, release that hand down and we'll switch to the other side. Reach your hand up, anchor into your sits bones, lift, lift, lift. Maybe you're slightly off, but that's okay. Keep that reach going. And then when you're ready, release, switch over to the other side, but now we're going to add that side bend. Reach upward and then lean out just to a point that feels good. And then we're going to tune in and notice right about the armpit area and then down slightly into where the armpit starts to meet that rib cage area. So notice that space there for a moment and then just take a nice deep breath in. See if you can feel the breath in that space. Awesome. Lift up, release, and take it all to the other side. And then again, see if you can tune in armpit area and where the armpit meets the ribs, and then see if you can just notice the breath in that space. Nice. And then when you're ready, lift up. We're going to take a light little twist. So twist to one side, just as far as feels good to you. For some of us, less is more. So just know that if you've got any stuff going on digestive wise, IBS, a little touchy tummy, anything like that, a lighter twist might be a little bit more beneficial. So you leverage into that twist to a depth that feels right to you. Awesome. When you're ready, take your twist over to the other side. Beautiful. When you're ready, nice and slow release. Now we're going to take our yoga strap or our TheraBand or whatever you're using. If you're working from the YouTube later, you can use a bathrobe tie, anything that you can just kind of fit around your ribs. So you're going to take it around the back of the ribs. Think about below the bra line slightly. So we want to really wrap it around the ribs a little bit. And it doesn't need to be super tight, but we do want a little bit of feedback. So you're going to wrap your strap or your yoga strap around your ribs, and then you're just going to tuck the tails in. So it doesn't need to be tied off, and you want to be able to breathe with this around you. So tuck your tails in and then just make sure it feels like it's pretty secure and you can release your hands from it. And then find a nice tall upright seat, and then we're going to tune back into the breath. So just let your hands rest wherever feels the most comfortable. And then see if you can take a nice deep breath in and think about the rib cage expanding in all four directions. So think front to back, side to side, and see if you can just feel the movement of breath in the rib cage. Eyes can close down. That might be a really nice way to just tune in, notice, and feel. Take about 2 or 3 more cycles of breath here, just really tuning in, noticing that movement of breath in the rib cage if you can feel it. Great. And then when you're ready, if your eyes are closed, go ahead and open them. Remove your strap from around your ribs. Once you've got your strap off and over from around your ribs, just place your strap somewhere so that you have access to it later when we come back to our seat. All right, so scoot your butt way forward in your chair so your butt's right at the edge, feet are nice and solid on the ground. And we're gonna take it into a cat-cow. We're gonna start with an inhale to lift the chest and an exhale to round the back. So that's gonna be our breath pattern to start. Inhale, lift your chest, lift your chin, arch your back. Exhale, round your back, round your shoulders, tuck your chin towards your chest. Inhale to lift. Exhale to round. Take about 3 more cycles of breath here. Just move with your breath's rhythm. Awesome. And then find a nice neutral spine. Pause for a moment, shimmy your shoulders, wiggle some stuff out. So we reset here. And then we're going to reverse our breath pattern. So we're going to exhale as we lift the heart and inhale to round the back and tuck the chin in. Exhale to lift. Inhale to round. Take about 3 more cycles of breath. Beautiful. And then once you've completed those cycles of breath, we're going to come back to a nice tall upright seat, but now we're going to step the feet forward and slightly wide. So maybe a little bit wider than they were, and then keep a nice generous bend in the knees, heels on the ground, toes slightly lifted. Lean your heart forward just a little bit. Tune in, notice how your low back's feeling this morning. Notice the backs of your thighs, and then push your way back up to nice tall upright spine. Lean yourself forward just a little bit, and we want to shoot for a little bit of a hip hinge. So we're going to keep a nice long spine as we lean forward and a nice long spine as we lean back. Come forward a little bit and then come back up. And then now you're going to go to the depth that feels good to you. So you might choose to fold all the way down, touch your toes. You might choose to stay a little bit slightly forward. You might choose to go for the shins, or if you have a yoga block, you might choose to place that there and bring the floor up to meet you. So come into a nice soft fold that feels good to you. Make sure your low back feels comfortable. Make sure the backs of your legs feel comfortable. And then once you're there, can you come back to that breath awareness in the rib cage, but think front to back, side to side with the breath. Fill your lungs up, let the rib cage expand. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, walk your hands up nice and slow, come back to an upright seated position. Take your time, step your feet in so they're nice and solid on the ground. And we're gonna make our little basket weave hold. So we're gonna pick up the right leg, pick up the left leg, pick up the left leg, draw that thigh bone in circles, go in one direction. Draw that thigh bone in circles, go the other way. Nice. And then hug that leg into the chest, just thigh into the chest, give a light, good squeeze. And we're just going to draw some circles with the foot. Circle in one direction. Circle your foot the other way. Beautiful. And then set that foot down with control, switch over to the other side. Pick your leg up, take that thigh bone, draw it in circles, go in one direction. Take that thigh bone, draw it in circles, go the other way. Awesome. And then hug that thigh into the chest with a nice tight squeeze. Hold that squeeze and then draw your foot in circles. Go in one direction. And then draw your foot in circles, go the other way. Nice. And then when you're ready, release that foot down with control, find your seated mountain pose. So feet nice and solid on the ground, butt nice and solid in your chair, arms down at your sides, and then bring just a little bit of life or energy down into the fingertips. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, hands to heart center, and then we're going to crisscross our fingers, and then we're going to just start to glide. So fingertips are going to glide between the space of the fingers and then down to the edge of the palm, and then glide over to the other side. Nice. One more glide each way. And then when you're ready, release your hands down at your sides, find your mountain pose again. Inhale, arms up, hands meet at the top. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to just do one glide each way. So glide one hand, glide the other hand, and then release your hands down at your sides. Beautiful. Inhale, arms up, hands meet, look up. And then exhale, fold yourself forward. So lift your heart, dive your heart forward, and then hang out in this folded position. So belly and chest are resting on the thighs. Hands are just going to be nice and heavy. Soften the back of your neck. Take 3 nice deep breaths here. Beautiful. When you're ready, walk your hands up your shins, up to your knees, press your way up nice and slow and controlled. Find your mountain pose again. Now think about pressing down into the feet, legs light up just a little bit and reach up through the crown of your head. And then imagine that you're pulling those front rib points in towards each other or pulling your hip bones in towards each other. So we create a little bit of a solidness in our center. And then once you feel nice and strong and solid in your center, inhale, arms up, hands meet, chest lifts as you look up. Exhale, dive your heart forward. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften all the way down. Now we're going to pull the abdominal muscles in, roll up through the spine, roll your shoulders all the way up to your ears, roll them around, down and back. Now hands are going to swim behind you, catch hold of the back of the chair. Hold on to the back of the chair, lift your heart, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Take 3 big breaths here. Beautiful. With control, release back to your mountain pose. And now we're going to pick up our flow just a little bit. Inhale, arms up, look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, soften down, right hand over to the left shin, left hand reaches up to the sky. Bring that hand down right away, slide up the shin, bring the knee up to the chest, a light little squeeze. Release that foot down to the ground, come right back into your mountain pose. Inhale, arms up, hands meet, chest lifts as you look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, soften down, left hand over to the right shin, right hand reaches up. Right away, release that hand down, slide up the shin, bring the knee up to the chest, a light little squeeze. Beautiful, and then release that leg down back to mountain pose. Inhale, arms up, hands meet, chest lifts as you look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, soften down, right hand over to the left shin, left hand reaches up. Stay here for 1 extra cycle of breath. When you're ready, release that hand down, slide up the shin, bring the knee up to the chest. This time, bring your nose to your knee. Take an extra breath here. Beautiful. And then release that foot down, come back to mountain pose. Nice. Inhale, arms up, hands meet, chest lifts as you look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, soften down. Left hand over to the right shin, right hand reaches to the sky. Stay here for an extra cycle of breath. Beautiful. And then release that hand down, slide up the shin, bring the knee to the chest, bring your nose to your knee. Take an extra breath here. Nice. And then release that leg down. And now we're going to make sure our butt's scooched way forward. And we're going to step the feet in a little bit. So heels are going to come so that your knees are going to be slightly past the toes. Think of this as that walking up the stairs maneuver or getting up and out of the chair, which is what we're going to do. All right. So, but first we're going to find those getting up and out of the chair muscles. So we're going to press into our feet. Get the thigh muscles to light up, get your glute muscles to light up. So almost as if your tush is trying to lift up off the chair, but it's staying pretty solid in the seat. So we're just going to activate all those getting up and out of the chair muscles. Back lights up a little bit, heart leans forward just a little bit. Notice your feet on the ground and then relax that position. And then we're going to do that again. So press into the feet like you're trying to just momentum, right? Where you find that getting up out of the chair momentum, light up those thigh muscles, glute muscles get activated, heart is slightly forward. And then when you're ready, release. And we're going to just do that one more time. So lean forward, press into the feet, light up those muscles, feel those butt muscles get activated. And now from here, can you hold all of that? And then with control, hands free or hands on the chair, that'll be totally up to you. But can you come up to a standing position with control? Nice. And then as you come up to standing, just give your legs a good, generous shake. Shake one leg, shake the other leg, do the hokey pokey. And then we're just going to clear ourselves away from the chair just so that we're going to do some arm drops, but we want to make sure that we're not going to smack our chair or injure ourselves. So you position yourself so that you're in a clear space. If a handhold is better for you today, one hand on the chair and you'll work the free arm that's away from the chair, and then you'll switch and do the other side. All right, so find a nice even stance. Feet about hip or shoulder distance apart, just whatever feels good to you. Make sure your legs feel solid on the ground. We're going to start by just inhaling, lifting the arms up. And then exhale, arms are going to float down gently. Inhale, lift your arms up. Pay attention to how your shoulders are feeling. Exhale, float your arms down. One more here just to pay attention. So slow, gentle, mindful. And then if you notice anything mischievous going on with the shoulders, you might choose to just take one round, assess, and then throw the arms in a way that feels right to you. All right, so we're going to reach the arms up, but now we're going to let them, we're just going to let them drop and then recoil. So we're just going to kind of let them do what they do. Reach them up nice and high, drop and let them kind of recoil, let them go exactly how they go, let them fall naturally, drop and let them recoil, reach them up, drop and let them recoil. Nice. Take a few more rounds of that. And then if you're working single arm, take 1 or 2 more rounds with that single arm and then switch yourself over to the other side of your chair and take a few more drops with your other arm. Nice. Take 1 or 2 more drops. And then when you're ready, we're going to take low side of the chair. We're just going to do a low side downward facing dog with a little bit of a twist. So plant yourself so that you can face the low side of the chair. Hands are going to be on the chair. And then we're going to walk ourselves back so we get a nice little upside down V. So butt backs a little bit, heart melts down just a little bit. Find your downward facing dog here. And then if it feels good, just for a second, maybe take a couple pedals of the legs, just kind of wag out the tail, make sure the backs of the legs feel good. And now we want to tune in a little bit and notice. So we paid attention earlier to the armpit and side rib area. And now we're going to go a little bit further down. So think side body and where the side body kind of wraps around and meets the low back. So low back, side body is where we're shooting to find. See if you can kind of tune in and notice that space. In this downward facing dog position, it might feel pretty neutral, but now we're going to keep our hands on the chair and we're going to just walk our feet. So we're going to pick up our feet and walk our feet so that both toes are turned to the right. So the feet and the knees are now going to be turned to the right, but our hands are staying reaching towards the chair. So as you find that position, and then you might need to readjust your arms or your shoulders, make sure everything feels good. But then once you've got your feet in a position in a rotation that works best for your body, let your chest and your forehead sink down and take 3 nice deep breaths here. Awesome. Lift your head, soften your knees, and now we're going to walk our feet back through center. Come back to your central down dog. Melt your heart down. Take a nice big breath. See if you can just notice the side of your body. And now we're going to keep our arms just as they are and walk the feet over to the left. So just your feet are going to walk around so that the toes and the knees are now pointing over to the left, but the heart space and the arms are still reaching forward to the chair. Once you've got your legs in a good position, melt your heart down again. And then notice one side might be a little different than the other. One side you might have been able to turn your toes a lot, and then one side might feel a little restricted. There's no right or wrong, but just notice we do have subtle variations, so you might find them here. Beautiful. When you're ready, soften your knees, look forward, walk your feet around, take it back to that center down dog. Take one good breath. Beautiful. Soften your knees, look forward, walk yourself on up, and then just bring your chair back around so that you can find your way back down to a seated position. Great. And then once you found your way down to your seat, walk your butt forward. We're going to take one more time through our sun salutation and then hit that head and neck and then stretch out our thighs. So find your seated mountain pose, anchor into your feet, butt is nice and solid on the chair. Inhale, arms up, hands meet chest, lifts as you look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale, soften down, right hand over to the left shin, left hand reaches to the sky. Release that hand down, slide up the shin, bring your knee to your chest, bring your nose to your knee. Release that foot back to mountain pose. Beautiful. Inhale, arms up, hands meet chest, lift so you look up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, right hand over to the left shin, left hand reaches up. Release that hand down, slide up the shin, bring your knee to your chest, bring your nose to your knee. Nice, and then release that foot down, and now we are gonna grab our strap, TheraBand or yoga strap, whatever you're using. And then we're just gonna take our strap or our band into a little bit of a U-shaped loop so that we can catch hold of a foot. So we're gonna catch hold of one foot, extend it out nice and long. We wanna keep a slight micro bend in the knee just so that we're not yanking against anything or putting too much pressure on that knee joint. So keep a nice little micro bend in that knee, and then we're just gonna gently lift leg up towards the heart and then release it back so it's about hip height. Bring it up towards the heart and release it down. Bring it up towards the heart and release it down. Nice. Now we're going to take both ends of the strap, same hand, same foot. So your hand that's holding that foot is going to hold both ends. Other hand is going to hold onto the chair for just a little bit of stability. And we're going to swing that leg in and out. So you're going to let the leg come slightly past the midline of your body and then swing out just as wide as feels good. Nice. And then the next time that leg swings out as wide as feels good to you, hang out there for just a second, maybe lift the leg just a little bit higher. If you lifted it higher, release it back down and then swing it across, switch your hand hold. So both ends of the strap in the other hand, and now we're going to open up into a little twist. So your other hand is going to open up, reach back, let your gaze follow that open hand. Wonderful. And then when you're ready, release, re-grab both ends of the strap, a micro bend in the knee, lift that leg up as close to the heart as you feel comfortable with. Beautiful. And then with control, bend your knee a little bit more, release that foot down, release your foot from the strap, take a second, swish out your knees. And then we're going to take all that to the other side. So we're going to catch hold of the bottom of the foot, extend the leg out, keep a micro bend in the knees, lift the thigh slightly toward your heart and release it back down. Lift the thigh slightly towards your heart and release it down. Nice. Lift it slightly towards your heart. Release it down, re-grab both ends of the strap. So same hand, same foot, and then we're going to swing it out nice and wide and bring it slightly across the midline of the body. Let your free hand just hold on to the chair so it feels nice and secure. Beautiful. And then the next time you swing that leg out nice and wide as feels good to you, hang out there. Maybe lift the leg just a little bit higher. That requires a little bit of effort in the arm and the shoulder. So that'll be a subtle variation for some of us. And then if you lift it higher, release it down, re-grab on the other side and open up into your twist. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, release, come back, re-grab both ends, lift that leg as high towards your heart as feels good to you. Awesome. And then when you're ready, bend your knee a little bit, soften that foot, release your foot from your strap, set your strap down and off to the side. We are totally done with that, but keep your butt forward in your chair. We're going to extend the legs back into that folded ragdoll position. So feet nice and long, heels on the ground, toes slightly lifted. Lift your heart, lean your heart forward just to a depth that feels good to you. If you can reach down and touch your toes, cool. If you stay up at the thigh or the shin or the knees, that's also cool. So you do the variation that feels the best in your body. Once you're there, tune back into the breath in the back of your body. Can you feel the breath in the back of your rib cage? Take one more breath. And then we're going to come back up nice and slow. Walk your feet in, scoot your butt back so that your butt is centered on your chair, but we're still getting that nice tall upright spine. And then we're going to do controlled articulated rotation of our head. So we're going to tuck the chin as tight. So this is going to be super slow motion. So I want you to go as like 1 mile an hour, super, super duper slow. So tuck your chin down towards your chest and we're going to do full range of motion, head circles, but we're going to go slow. And we're going to start to just roll the head all the way around, over to the ear, all the way back, slow as you can, finding your range of motion, but taking it slow, 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 slow. Go to your edge. So you're going to find that extreme position without injuring yourself. the edges of that range of motion for you. Take one more time around in this direction. And as you do this last one here, we want to make sure that our arms, our shoulders, and everything else is staying as stable as it can. So all of that rotation is coming out of the head and the neck, and everything else stays as stationary as possible. And then once you come around that full circle and your chin comes back down to your chest, pause here for a moment. Whew, let everything relax, soften your shoulders, relax your jaw, maybe even swish your head around just a little bit. And once you feel like you've kind of worked that out a little bit, now we're going to go in the other direction. So chin is going to tuck down to the chest. Everything else is going to stay as stable as it can. Slow motion circles, 1 mile an hour, just circling around, finding your full range of motion. Take your time. If you've done about 3 complete circles, when you feel ready, when you circle back around and your chin comes back down to your chest, hang out here for a second, soft little figure eights with the head, soften your jaw, soften your shoulders. And then once you feel like you've kind of loosened some things up, bring your head to a neutral position. Both hands are going to reach behind, catch hold of the back of the chair. Heart lifts, shoulder blades squeeze, lift your gaze, take 3 nice deep breaths. Beautiful. When you're ready, release your head, release your hands, and start to walk yourself back in your chair. So we're going to start to find our way back to our seated Shavasana. If you're in a seated Shavasana and you would prefer to take it on the floor, you do what feels best to you. But if it feels good to just sit back in your chair for a moment, take a second to let your tush get soft and comfy, let your feet get soft and comfy, let your hands find a place that feels restful. You always have the option to stay in your Shavasana as long as you like. But if you feel called to do so, start to gently reawaken your body. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Move your wrists, move your ankles. Take a deeper breath into your body. And then if it feels really great to do so, take it into a big good morning stretch. Stretch your arms up and overhead, reach your legs up nice and long. Take a nice big breath back into your body. Beautiful. And then release your hands, release your feet, sit up nice and tall and walk your butt forward in your chair. So you're nice and solid in your seat, feet on the ground, butt in your chair, nice tall spine. And then we're going to come back to our hands. So we're just going to glide those fingers across the palm, fingertips to the heel of the hand. Give a few moments just to find a little bit of warmth or stimulation in the palms. And then once you feel like you found a little warmth or stimulation, one or the other, we're going to give ourselves a little hug. So we're just going to wrap our hands around, catch hold of the shoulders, let the elbows get soft, let the shoulders tuck down. Take a nice deep breath in. Can you notice the breath in the back of your heart space? Slow breath out. Notice which hand is on top, giving yourself a hug. And then we're going to come back to the finger glide. So fingertips to the heel of the hand. Nice. And then once you feel like your hands are a little bit stimulated, other hand is going to come on top. Give yourself a nice little hug. Catch your shoulders, let the elbows drop down. Close your eyes just for a moment and see if you can just notice the breath in the back of your body or in the space between your shoulder blades. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, we're going to release our hug, but then we're going to just kind of draw 3 swipes down the arm. So just like you're brushing water off of your coat, brush down your arm 3 times and then take it right over to the other side, brush down that arm. Nice. And then give your hands and your arms a good, generous shake. Shake them out like you've got water all over your hands and you're just really getting it off. And then once you feel like you've shaken your hands as much as you can stand, stack both hands right on top of your heart and bow your head to your heart. Breathing in love and gratitude for yourself, for your mind, for your body, and the time that you take to take care of yourself. Breathe in a little extra love and gratitude that you can carry with you through the rest of your day and share with everyone you see. And when you feel ready, gently lift up to the top of your head, gently open your eyes. I bow to you. Happy Wednesday. You guys are awesome.